Yes, people, what's going on? Welcome to Stretford Paddock. I am Adam McKola. He is Jay Marty with the shiny head, and that is Joe with the long locks.
Long locks.
Long locks. What's going on? You right?
Yeah, I'm not too bad, man. Good to see you. Good to be with you.
We're here today for a brand new show. What's it called, Joe? Tell them.
It's called Prove Me Wrong.
I forgot, so thankfully you did it. And we're here today to give a statement each, which the others would then argue against, or maybe they agree with it. Now, it's got to be a statement that we kind of feel is a little bit left field, right?
Yeah.
A little bit, what would we say?
Unpopular, maybe.
An unpopular opinion.
Yeah, even though we won't say that. We don't use that, but that's what it is.
So we'll be giving opinions which we think are unpopular. The guys will be arguing them. And then usually that will just get in the comments and let us know who won this week. Is that
Yeah, let's have it. Yeah, let's have it as a contest. I like that.
We got a poll up
Yeah.
in the corner.
Yeah,
do
I
they
like
still
that.
have polls on YouTube?
Big time.
Yeah,
They
all
don't
over
do
that.
that.
Pop it in the comments.
Yeah,
Pop
why
it
not?
in the comments. So, who wants to go first? I can't go first because I'm presenting, innit?
All right, I'll go first.
You go.
Kind of.
Do you know what I mean? Age before beauty and all that. Next season, James Garner, who's absolutely smashing it at Nottingham Forest.
Leading the witness.
Two-time
Yeah.
European Cup winners.
Exactly. Yeah, one of the most successful teams in the UK, and he's there as probably their best ever player, if we're being honest. Yeah? If not Europe. James Garner comes back into his United squad next season and plays in midfield for us. Right?
I possibly agree.
Right? Now, before you all start leaning me.
Both agree.
Yeah, that's good. That's me done. Now, before you go, hang on a minute.
Jay dug deep for this unpopular opinion.
Yeah, Jay, you go, oh, he's never played in the Premier League. He's only a kid. He's all this, that, and the other. He's unproven, this, that, and the other. Right. For starters, what do we need in midfield? We need someone who's got a lot of energy, who can pick out a pass, who can hit a dead ball. He does all those things. He's got countless assists with Forest against Premier League opposition. He's played against Arsenal. He was a star. He played against Leicester. He was a star. He's been part of that cup run. I fancy him to do a job against the Scouts. I'm not saying he'll win, but I think he'll play well. We desperately need someone like that. We have given midfielders who are bang average so many games. It is unbelievable. We have stuck with midfielders who've been mediocre at best for 4 years. And people go, well, he's not ready yet. We'll stick with him for a bit. Give him a chance. Let him get Premier League experience with Manchester United. He's earned it. He's gone on loan twice now to Nottingham Forest and been their player of the year, and he's been one of the Championship's player of the year again. So he's earned that right. He comes in and, okay, he might not hit the ground running. It might take him a few games. We can't give someone like James Garner even 10 games when we've given other midfielders 4 years, won nothing, and was sat in, what? I can't remember where we're sat now. What, we're 5th, 6th? So why not? This club's meant to be built on youngsters. That's our ethos. We've got a youngster there who's in a position we need, yet we won't give him a chance. He shouldn't be a squad player next season. I've even argued he should, and I'm going to sort of contradict myself. Put him in the team. If we are going to go out and buy a midfielder, he can play alongside a midfielder. He can play in a variety of roles in midfield. I've seen him for the under-23s. He's more attacking. He's played as a defensive midfielder at times, and he's more or less an 8. He's more sort of a deep line sort of midfielder or a bit of a box-to-box one. So if you get an experienced midfielder in there with him, he'll shine. I've no doubt about it, he will. Plus, look at how he's pinging in them crosses on corners. Look at his free kicks. We haven't got anyone like that. We're awful at free kicks and corners.
He's got a little bit of the character about him as well,
He
which
has.
I think is good.
So give him a chance.
A lot of progressive passing.
Yeah.
I like him. And when you look at United, I don't think it's that of an unpopular opinion. When you think of Matic probably isn't going to be there next season. Fred and McTominay aren't good enough. Pogba's probably not going to be there next season. Donny van der Beek's probably not going to be there next season. You're going to need more than 1 or 2 midfielders. So even if we brought 2 midfielders, which is unlikely, James Garner probably still get a sniff. The only thing I would say is I would like to not rush him and just start him every game, because I feel like, look what we've done to Rashford, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like we've kind of damaged Marcus Rashford's development in the way we've kind of handled him. But I do think he should be given an opportunity next season. We've got nothing to lose, and I'd rather see James Garner than Scott McTominay and Fred. Like, I genuinely would rather see him.
A bit further than me.
And while we've got someone at Nottingham Forest, we should probably bring Jed Spence back with him.
Yeah, he's decent. He is. He's really good.
The one thing I would say is, and I agree with everything you've said pretty much so far, my only worry about putting him in the first team is you can be a top level championship player and not even play for the team you promoted.
Yeah.
Like Mitrovic is a perfect example.
Yeah,
This is the
hear
third
that.
time he's going to be the championship top scorer or thereabouts. He's got over 30 league goals this season. cannot make it stick in the Premier League the next season with the team that he was so good at the year before. I just worry that the jump is bigger than people think, and obviously I know you know that, but I just worry that you put him in that first team and go, right, go on then, do what you did at Forest. It's Forest, and they're a decent team fighting for playoff space, but the jump is massive, and it's not like we're just a relegation team in the Premier League. We are one of the best teams in the Premier League. I know fifth isn't
but
it's still one of the best teams. The jump is so massive that I just worry that maybe not necessarily alone in the Premier League team, because I agree with you, like, let's get him in. We're probably going to lose 3 or 4 midfielders. We need men there, even if it's, maybe as a squad player. But I just worry, like, throw him in the first team and go on then. He's never played in the Premier League. It's a massive jump. It
is. I hear that. He has played against Premier League opposition this season. He's done well. And I also think, in terms of what you're saying, holding his progression, I think now is the time for him to progress to that level. I think he's had 2 seasons now. He had a low, he's progressed in his low moves. He had a low move, I think it was at Watford, didn't quite work out. Forest did well. Back to Forest, does even better, arguably. Now is the time for him to play in the Premier League, and I think he should be playing in the Premier League for us, because I think he brings something to that team that we need. And I think that in the past we've taken a punt on youngsters and we've given him that responsibility, and it's worked out. And I think if you've got the right players around him, you've got some experience around him, which we should have, because whoever we're picking in that team has got to have some Premier League experience, because that's all we've got. Then I think he can progress, and I think he can become the player we need to be. We've stuck with so many midfielders over these last few years, where you've seen the likes of Andreas Pereira playing 30 games in a season. You've seen Fred and McTominay having 50 games each in a season. We're looking at a youngster going, is he ready yet? Is he ready? Get him in there. Manage him. I'm not saying don't manage his game time. You might have to sub him a few times. You might have to miss your game, but he should be, for me, a first-team player next season. I think now is the time to give him that opportunity.
You can also include Hannibal in that as well, possibly.
Give them all a chance. I mean, the way I'm feeling right now, I'd be happy to drop the entire squad.
I've said this at a good time because I want everyone out.
I think I've had enough of them all.
We'll see debuts from the likes of Hannibal in the Premier League. He hasn't played in the Premier League yet for us, has he?
I don't think he has played him in Europe. He's played in Europe.
I think you'll possibly see Zidane play. I think you'll possibly see Savage play. So it'll kind of look, and then next season, James Garner is going to be probably ahead of those players in the pecking order. He'll get a chance, I think.
That's what I mean.
And Rangnick coming in and potentially Ten Hag or Poch, it changes the way the club's going to be run.
I think the only difference between my opinion and maybe everyone else's is that I'm thinking start him, make him a regular.
Poch
That's my
started
thing.
Harry Winks.
Yeah.
Do
you know what I mean? It can happen.
Yeah.
And you look at the options you've got, and you go, Donny van der Beek's a great unknown. He's gone to Everton to try and get his career going. It's not quite working out. I don't know what's going to happen with him. Fred and McTominay, everyone's loving McTominay after.
We know what they
everyone's
are,
loving McTominay after his interview at the derby. But what about his performance in the derby? And I've stuck up for Scott McTominay, but it was abject. Everyone loves.
Make him captain.
I know.
McTominay's a decent player, but isn't a top player.
No.
Fred is
I'd argue they're not decent.
Right, and look at their age.
Whatever.
Is Fred going to get any better now at 28 years old? No. Is James Garner? Of course he is. Yeah. He's only going to get better.
I'm annoyed here because you've convinced me a little bit. He's done well here, hasn't he? He's done well with that.
Right,
he has done well.
I think, he's picked a soft spot of you.
He is, let's promote the youth. Oh, so controversial.
It's like, we need a new manager.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Don't be hating the player, hate the game.
Right, go on then, Adam. You next.
This is defo controversial.
This is a good one. I like this one.
Man United miss Anthony Martial.
I knew this. Me and Joe were talking about that.
Say no more. Right, come on then. Give us a bit more.
Come on, yeah, you got to say more of that.
You got to explain yourself because that is preposterous.
I mean, look at us.
Again, he's playing on that.
Just look at us. Edinson Cavani.
His argument is it can't get any worse.
Edinson Cavani turns up literally when he wants.
That's a piss take.
The guy, I've stopped singing his song. I'm fed up. I've just start singing Anthony Martial's song when everyone sings Cavani's song now. May as well. If you're going to sing about someone that isn't here, isn't playing for us, you may as well not sing about Cavani.
Someone that's got, actually goals for this club.
Let's sing about Nicky Butt again. Because what is the point of singing about Cavani when we give him a ball and say, so are you playing this weekend? And he goes, I don't know if I am.
Puts his head out the window.
I'll come train in the
bit of rain.
Can't make the game.
No,
he trains all week and then doesn't play. Yeah. I can't get that round. I can't get my head around that. And people look at Cristiano Ronaldo and his form has fallen off a cliff in terms of goal scoring, and now we're starting to see poorer performances from him. The reason is because we can't rest the guy. We haven't got any strikers. We've obviously lost Mason Greenwood for obvious reasons. We let Anthony Martial go. I don't think we do that if we know about Mason Greenwood, if we know about Cavani being available whenever he wants. Marcus Rashford doesn't perform well. And, let's be real, I think Martial, whilst he wasn't scoring at times last season, he did kind of hold that strike line together.
I get what you're saying because it was against West Ham
when he
came on against. Yeah, he held it together.
He held it together. Did he? Really? Held it together on the bench.
Holding the ball up.
His zip held his fucking puffer jacket together when he was sat on the bench.
Holding the ball up. Trust me, Martial.
Trust
me. Oh, sorry.
Langer and Sancho.
I love it when he says.
Jay, trust him.
I love it when he starts.
What he's coming.
Trust me.
Go on, Jay.
Against West Ham when he came on, I thought he did well for that little cameo.
Against Everton.
Yeah, I do like Anthony Martial. You know I do, but his form was similar to Marcus's. Now it had fallen off a cliff, and also he wanted to go. He said, "I'm out of here." Now you can argue Ralph Rangnick made the wrong decision in begging Cavani to stay and convincing him, and maybe he should have convinced someone who could actually play for us now and again in Anthony Martial. But when you've got a player who doesn't want to be here, and also a player whose form isn't great, and
I think he didn't want to be here though because of maybe the way the environment had changed around him. And you look at Cavani was then put ahead of him, and probably rightly so.
No, but the reason
after certain season, but when man don't want to be there.
But the reason Cavani was put ahead of him last season was because Martial wasn't scoring and Cavani was.
And also the thing with I understand to a certain degree I agree with a lot of what you're saying, but also at Sevilla I think there's been a little bit of an over exaggeration of what he's doing there. He's done okay, scored in the Europa League.
I ain't even watching him.
Yeah, he's his first game he got criticised by the manager.
I'm not doing this based on anything that happened in Spain.
I mean?
The thing with Martial is he's at his best when he's got no competition.
Yeah.
We saw when Sanchez came in, he dropped off. We saw when Lukaku came in, he dropped off. We saw him just get back to it. The best he ever was for United. Then Cavani comes in as a backup, seemingly.
Yeah.
Last minute transfer, free transfer, get him in as a backup. He drops off again, like off the face of the earth. If he can only perform when it's a free road, no traffic, put your foot down, and even then he's getting you 20 goals, that's not enough to build a front line around.
It's only an argument based on the short term.
Okay.
Because in the short term, we are fucked.
Yeah.
When you're looking around, we haven't got anyone.
No. I mean, let's face facts. If we had Martial in our squad, he'd be getting games.
Do you think?
I think he would.
He starts ahead of Rashford.
Yeah, but
everyone starts ahead of Rashford. Rashford's in a mood because we were
I
playing
think Martial and
midfielders
Sancho
up
as well
front.
have been mint.
We were playing midfielders up front over Marcus Rashford. I don't know. I just feel like because our options so limited. Even Elanga, we all love Anthony Elanga. I'm not criticising the kid, but he shouldn't be starting as many games as he is. He's starting those games because other players aren't available or aren't playing well enough. So I think that maybe Martial would be getting a game if he was playing for us, but he isn't.
I've noticed a difference in Elanga since he scored that goal against us.
No, he's not got me. I'm not agreeing with him. I'm saying
he agrees.
He's got you.
He agrees, bro.
He's got you.
I'm not saying he's saying bring him back. I'm not saying
he's
that.
coming back in the summer. Watch.
I don't think I'll be
he's
honest
getting
with
his
you.
9 shirt
I don't
back as
think
well.
Andy Martial will ever kick a football for Manchester United again. I don't.
Guaranteed does.
Right, trust me.
Guaranteed does.
I've not got a problem if he does. I just don't think it'll happen.
You think we're replacing Ronaldo, Cavani, and all these other people?
He's the only saleable asset we've got out of them lot.
We're not replacing them.
He's the only one where you can actually get some money.
Let's be real.
Hey.
No one probably wants to buy him.
Oh, well, that's
Because
the one. That's a counter.
Because he's
good
so
then.
unaffordable, though.
It's so shit. No one
can't
wants
afford
him.
it.
Therefore, we should have
They
him.
can't afford him. It's a pandemic. And there's bigger things going on in the world. And people can't spend money like
political situation.
I like Chris Wood players like I go for 20 million. Of course, you can sell Andy
True or
Martial.
false? There are people struggling more than us if Martial plays for Man United.
I
Yeah,
hate that.
obviously there are, Adam.
That's
You can't
like when
just
people
use that.
start bringing up the nurses' wages when you talk about
exactly.
give
footballers.
nurses wages.
Yeah, look at that.
How
Yeah.
about that?
Yeah, give nurses Cavani's wages.
Start nurses up front for Manchester United.
that's his next
That's
point.
our problem, isn't it?
Right.
Fucking Cavani.
Okay, we've heard about it. Yeah. We've heard about that. I can't.
Cavani doesn't even want to be here. We sing his name.
Got 2 chances, Macca. He's got 2 chances.
Disgrace.
It is a disgrace.
I've known players at United for
But then
years
when
who
he
haven't got any
plays,
chance.
it's like he wants to be here.
I know.
Do you get it? It's like it's so
He
fucking
can't help
weird.
himself, can he? Proper neglectful, but when he's with you, he buys you loads of flowers.
Like
takes you out
Tony
for
Soprano?
dinner. Yeah. It's like, but
Like-
are you coming around tonight?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't. Sorry. But you said you would all week. Yeah, no, I'm shagging someone else tonight. Oh, all right. But then he buys you flowers and a Cadbury's milk tray and you forgive him.
We're calm.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Cavani's Saudi.
Calm
Right.
down.
Shall
That's
I
what it's
give-
come to.
shall I give mine?
Go on then.
Oh, God.
Here we go.
There we go.
You know what this is going to be.
Man United need to sell David De Gea. I don't think he's good enough. I don't think he's good enough for us to win big trophies. I think we've all been slightly blinded by the fact that he's got closer to his best again this season, that we forget that even at his best, he's got weaknesses that year by year are exaggerated by how everyone else in football is playing. 10 years ago, the fact that De Gea didn't claim crosses, couldn't pass the ball very well, didn't really command his box, didn't really give his centre-backs confidence, that wasn't such a big problem. But how football has changed, how United want to play high up the pitch, front foot football, you need a goalkeeper that commands his box, that is basically another centre-back when the ball's up the pitch. There was that picture of Ederson the other day and people acting like it's great. It's not. Ederson was like basically on the edge of the centre circle, just in between the centre circle and the D from our corner. David De Gea's in the back of his net having a drink because he's scared to leave his 6-yard box. I just think the type of goalie he is won't work going forward for Manchester United, and I think we've seen that a lot in the last couple of years. And just because he's saving shots again,
I need to question you more though.
Go on then.
Are we buying a new goalkeeper?
Well,
That's a great question.
And how many? Because if in my opinion, if you let De Gea go, we need 2 goalkeepers because Dean Henderson isn't the answer.
I don't think Dean Henderson's a bad number 2.
No, but he would be our number 1. Let's be real.
I'm with Maka on this in the sense that I mean you spoke about this. I'm not as emotionally attached to David De Gea as some people are. I think he's had a decent season, but there's so many faults though, his distribution and his command of the box, especially with our ropey defence, which doesn't help him.
Yeah.
That you need a more commanding goalkeeper. I don't think Dean Henderson is the answer yet. Maybe one day. I think if you get rid of De Gea, you need another goalkeeper to come in. I think that we've sort of got this idea that we've got 2 world-class goalkeepers fighting for the position. We ain't. We've got 2 goalkeepers that probably wouldn't get in most teams in the Premier League.
I think that's slightly harsh on Henderson.
Do you not think though?
I think that's harsh on Henderson.
I think he'll come good, Henderson, or he might do, but I don't think he's there yet. I don't think he's there
I
yet.
didn't say he's
but that's what he said.
He said he wouldn't get in most teams in the Premier League.
Oh yeah,
that's unfair.
I don't think he would.
Well,
either.
if you look at the,
I think he's getting some.
I think he's getting a lot of top.
Don't you think though, if we have better centre halves, a better midfield, David De Gea is not a problem.
I think if we have a better centre half and better midfield,
a lot of the issues for me sometimes come from when Luke Shaw doesn't really want to run.
Yeah, but
you're right to a certain
David
degree.
De Gea is less of a problem with that.
How many times do you see our centre halves drop to the edge of the box where they're supposed to be, but they don't really want the ball?
Well, I get that, but that's a separate issue, isn't it? How many times is
no?
the
But
ball,
if you
improve
your defenders and you improve,
No.
like David De Gea for his whole career at United has had fuck all in front of him. For his whole career, bro. He's just had
Even though, Maka, yeah, you're right, but even when we had Rio and Vidic, these issues were still there with De Gea.
Yeah.
I remember, like, he dropped for Anders Lindegaard at one point. I know he's only a kid.
Early.
Yeah, I know it was, but these issues have always been there. He's always made up for it with his shot stopping, which has been phenomenal.
Yeah, you can't just say because the centre-backs and the defence aren't good enough, therefore De Gea is. De Gea has got weaknesses which make him...
The only question with De Gea for me is his shot stopping ability that good that you can put up with his faults?
I don't think so.
And that's the only question.
I think because you can measure stats on like him giving the ball away and it leading to a shot, like errors leading to goals, there's that sort of stuff, crosses claimed. But you can't put a stat on when we give the ball away, maybe it doesn't lead to a shot, but it leads to United losing possession, losing control of a game. It allows Leeds to push on. And 30 seconds later, they get a goal. He's not going to be directly credited for that, but we lose momentum all the time when David De Gea is involved.
Do you know what felt like a bit of almost like a watershed moment for me? And it sounds crackers because it's only this season, but against Madrid with Varane.
Yeah.
Like, that I was a bit
Rolling
like...
the ball out and he's not looking.
And I think that's Varane, who's a very experienced defender. And you're doing that with him. And even he's like, what are you doing, bro? Like... Come on, like I get what you come about Maguire and other players and Shaw. Don't get me started on them because they're all over the gaff. But Raphael Varane he knows what he's doing.
I don't mind us
replacing
replacing De Gea as long as it's not with Henderson.
Yeah, I'm more on that. I think maybe Henderson might be good enough one day. I don't think he's there yet. I still think last season he did okay. But look at the Sheffield United game, the Scousers game. There was a couple of games where he wasn't great.
Having a spine of Dean Henderson, Maguire and McTominay.
But that's not.
You don't have to imagine because that's you know we're all.
You're putting them onto my argument with De Gea.
But that's what it would then be.
So would you? If selling De Gea brought in another keeper, would you do it? Is that are you of the opinion De Gea is good enough? We just need a better defenders around him.
My point was Manchester United need to sell David De Gea. Right. That was my point.
Yeah, okay.
One, I think we need to sell so many players before De Gea. And because of the need to get rid of so many more, that it probably don't happen this summer. If we were to bring in a new goalkeeper, I wouldn't be against it. I can see what he's saying.
What happened to Tom Heat one argument that we had?
No, that was an argument. That was a bet.
That was a bet.
That was a £50 bet.
You shouted at me when I questioned that.
It was possible because Dean Henderson isn't good enough.
Right.
and David De Gea somehow returned to form. Let's say David De Gea's form was as it was last year.
Yeah. Then Tom Heat 1 is
Happens.
Heat 1 is that. So I think I'm a little bit in between with yours. It's not a no. I think because I agree, we get rid of him though. We need another keeper because I don't think we can rely on Tom Heaton and Dean.
If David De Gea gets sold, and there's some of them man still left in the building, it's a disgrace.
Yeah, well, that's
You know, if David De Gea gets sold and on his way out he's walking past Maguire and Fred and McTominay and all these then something's gone wrong.
I agree.
No,
you know what I mean?
yeah, that's fair.
I agree with that.
That's a fair comment. He's not top of that list.
No.
Because he's arguably been one of our best players this season.
Yeah.
I'd say he has been our best player.
Well, that's what I mean. That's why I put arguing
Because like, let's say against
probably
City,
don't
he was at fault for the fourth goal, but it was 3-1 at that point. Yeah, it could have been 7. It could have been 7-1 at that point. So it's like,
and I'm not saying
yes, he made an error for the fourth goal,
but that's the
he
thing.
also stopped the next 3-4
No,
goals.
and that goes back to your point of the rest of the team is so far off City's that even if De Gea was a real front foot commanding his box goalkeeper, that wouldn't have made up for it.
No.
And I think that sort of goalkeeper will still make mistakes. I just think they are a different type of mistake. Like, I think occasionally, a goalie that likes to play with his feet, trying to go past a player and getting the ball and it's off him, the ball goes in the back of the net. That's the sort of mistake he'll make. But I think overall for the club and for the team and the way we're trying to play, I'd rather this style of mistake that someone like Henderson but not Henderson makes, rather than this type of mistake, which is De Gea staying on his line and allowing pressure over and over again. I would prefer this type of mistake to happen more often.
I get you.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wrong though, isn't it? I don't know. Or is he? Is he not? Well, obviously Joel was wrong. That has been this week's Prove Me Wrong. Is it going to be weekly, monthly?
Yeah.
We'll see the reaction.
Fortnightly?
The reaction
You
will
lot let
tell.
us know.
That'll dictate whether
In
we
the
do this
comments
every
below.
week.
Obviously, Martial should be back. Should still be here. But let us know what you
James
thought about
Garner.
Jay's opinion.
The future.
What was your opinion?
De Gea's got to go, mate.
Oh, Man United miss Martial. Let us know what you thought about those in the comments below. Subscribe, like, comment, share. See you in a bit.